This video will demonstrate how to use the web content section of the system. So the first thing we want to do is go to Content and then Web Content. So with the web content section, we're able to predefine certain areas on existing pages throughout the system where you can add your own messages for the customer to view. So we're looking at a list here of predefined areas that eMark has already set up. If you do want to add to this list and have another web content section on a different page that doesn't already exist here, you'll just need to contact us and we'll set that up on your behalf. You can also see the mode, and some of them are listed as single and some of them are multi. So we can actually define more than one content block for each one of these types, and depending on whether it's a single or multi, the user will see either one of those content blocks that is relevant to them or potentially all of them. So if we click into the homepage banner, it might make a little bit more sense. So you can see at the moment we've got one item that's been added to the homepage banner, and if we just take a look at the homepage, it's actually this section here that we can manage. So if I go back and click the green tick icon, we can edit the existing one, and you'll notice that that's the same content there. Very similar to our content management system and other parts of the system where we have this editor, and you have two options. You can use it as a design view, which is very similar to Microsoft Word, or you can click the source button to add some specific HTML in there. So there's a few options. So we have a priority. So if we're using single mode, whatever has the highest priority would be the one that is displayed. We can also set dates to have this content kick in and also expire. And then we also have a list of user roles. So what this means is for different types of users, we can have completely different messages showing up in these areas. Now the web content section doesn't use the check-in, check-out system that our content management system does, because this is really just some basic messages that we're adding for the customer. So if we want to create a new one, we just click Create on the right hand side. So we can then set a different priority, and we'll set the publish date to be today with no expiry, and we're going to apply this to all user roles. Now the alias is not something that needs to be populated by yourself. If you don't enter anything there, it will generate a random alias, but having that option there just allows us to retrieve certain content pages on specific pages, where it might be necessary to hard code it. And then we just click Save. So we can see there's two items there, and if we just go back to the home page now and refresh, you'll notice that we're still only seeing the one, the original one, and that's because we're running single mode. So if I was to go and change the priority of the general one to say 5, which would be a lower priority to the other one, and we go back to the home page and we refresh, and you'll see that other message is now displaying. So if we just return back to that list of the different web content types, most of these are pretty self-explanatory. The most popular ones are throughout the checkout. So when you're stepping through the checkout, there's obviously the shopping basket. The next page is where the user selects their address, and then finally they have the confirmation page where they actually process their order. So there's a few there for that. We can also add messages to the login page, drop little pieces of content into the bottom of your invoice templates, and likewise for the orders and quotes. There's some web content sections there for registrations, so the content that gets emailed to the customer, as well as the information that they see after successfully creating a registration. And then there's a couple other ones there which we can provide more detail on if you do have any questions about.